Hello students, myself Suresh VS. Welcome back to my channel. Let us continue with the lesson, the lost spring. In the last class we have seen that the narrator talked to us about a boy who had prayed to the goddess after getting a shoe. Let me never lose my shoes. So he prayed to God that he should never lose his shoes. And the goddess had granted his prayer. But the young boys, like the son of the priest, now wore shoes. But many others, like the rag pickers in my neighborhood, remain shoeless. So she says that. So many people in the country got shoes. Young children, they got shoes, but the rag pickers in her area, in her neighborhood, they remain shoeless. Let us continue. My acquaintance with the barefoot rag pickers leads me to Simapuri. My acquaintance means my familiarity. Now, the narrator is very much familiar with the boys in her neighborhood. They are engaged in rag picking. So, my acquaintance, this familiarity or my introduction with the barefoot rag pickers. They are barefoot rag pickers. They are roaming around the city, collecting the waste and searching for some valuables among the waste. They are roaming in barefoot. They are barefoot rag pickers. And their acquaintance or their familiarity leads me to Simapuri. Simapuri is a place on the periphery of Delhi, 8 miles away from it. But Simapuri, this place is coming in the periphery. Periphery means outskirts, the outskirts of Delhi. Even though it is included in Delhi, the capital of our country, such a big city, but it is miles away from the capital. But it is considered as a part of Delhi. Metaphorically means symbolically. Symbolically, it is considered as part of Delhi, but it is in the outskirts of Delhi. Those who live there are squatters. You know, the squatters means one who unlawfully occupies land without, or we can say without permission, or unlawful inhabitants of a building or a land is known as squatters. So these people, that means those who live in this area, Simapuri, they are squatters. They are squatters means they had occupied this place without permitted by the government, without the permission from the government, or unlawfully they occupied this area. Then where from they had come? They had come from Bangladesh back in 1971. They had come from Bangladesh in 1971. So they are the unlawful occupants of this area. Saheb's family is among them. So they are the migrants. The migrants from Bangladesh, they migrated to India in 1971. And Saheb family is one among them. Simapuri was then a wilderness. The wilderness means wasteland. So Simapuri, when they came there, it was a wasteland. And it still is. Now also it's a wasteland. It's a wilderness. It's a wasteland. But it is no longer empty. But earlier the difference was, earlier it was an empty place. But now it is not an empty place. In structures of mud with the roofs of tin and tarpaulin, devoid of sewage, drainage or running water, live 10,000 rag pickers. Why does the writer say that it is not empty now? Because this area is occupied by 10,000 rag pickers. And where do they live? They live in huts made of mud as well as roofs of tin and tarpaulin. You know, tarpaulin is a waterproof cloth. And devoid of sewage, and without the sewage system, without drainage, You see that this area has got no drainage system, or we can say that sewage system, and they live in small huts. Those roofs are made of tins and tarpaulin, and they live in such a small houses. We can't call them houses, huts. They have lived here for more than 30 years without an identity. You see that these people, these migrants, they lived there for 30 years. Now it is more than that. They came here in the year 1971. And you see so many years they lived there, but they are without any identity. We can't call them as Indians. Okay, they haven't got any identity. Without permits, but the ration card, they get their names on voters list and enable them to buy grains. And you see that they are without permits. They haven't got the permission from the government. They haven't got the citizenship. But they have been given the ration cards so that they can buy the grains. And why the ration cards were supplied as well as why? Because they had to be included in the voters list so that the politicians will get the vote. They want the vote of, they have to get the vote of these poor people, but they never tried to, give permission to them or make them the citizens of our country. Food is more important for survival than an identity. So these people are without identity. And they say that food is more, and for them food is more important than identity, because that they were not getting in their home country. If at the end of the day we can feed our families and go to bed without an aching stomach, aching means paining stomach, we would rather live here than in the fields that gave us no grain. Say a group of women in the tattered saris, when I asked them why they left their beautiful land of green fields and rivers. So when the narrator asked a group of women who had worn tattered saris, tattered means torn, dirty, okay, torn and dirty, or we can say that old, and dirty and torn saris, colorless saris. And when the narrator asked those women in tattered saris, why did you leave your beautiful land? That is Bangladesh. Okay, beautiful land with the fields and rivers. What was their answer? They answered that if the end of the day, if we can feed our families, then and go to bed without a paining stomach, we would rather live here than the fields that gave us no grain. So because here we are able to find out something for our survival. We can find out something, we are able to find out something to feed our families so that they can sleep without an aching or a paining stomach. That is better than a place where fields are there but they don't give any yield, any income, any grain. So survival is important. So we left the place. They answered. Wherever they find food, they pitch their tents and become transit homes. So wherever they find food, they pitch there. Pitch means dig up. And wherever they found a place, they thought that they can get something for their survival. They dug up a tent, and tents. That means you see that temporary houses they made there, and that became a transit homes, and that became a temporary home for them. And they lived there for some time, and afterwards they went away to another place in search of their food. Children grow up in them, becoming partners in survival. The children of these migrants also participated in their survival. They also joined with their parents and went out to find out some valuable things from the heaps of waste. And survival in Simapuri means rag picking. So survival in Simapuri, that means rag picking. So they don't have any other job, and maybe they were not given any job by others. So for them survival, that means their livelihood means that is rag picking. Through the years, it has acquired the proportions of a fine art. through the years, that means many years past, you see that it has developed, or accord means developed, to a proportions of a fine art. Proportions mean in the form of, it has become in the form of a fine art. It was like an art for them, rag picking. Garbage to them is gold. You see that? The garbage means that is gold to them. It is their daily bread, a roof over their heads, and even if it is a leaking roof, it is their daily bread. So they can find out something for them to eat. At least they can have 2 times meals. And also they have a place, even though it's a roofless, okay, without roof and all, they can find a shelter. So you see that rag picking, that was very important for them. But for a child, it is even more than this. How? So sometimes question may ask how it was small for a child. Rag picking was more than a survival for a child. I sometimes find a rupee, even a 10 rupee note, Sahib says his eyes lighting up. And you see that Sahib says to the narrator, I sometimes find 1 rupee and sometimes a 1 rupee coin or 10 rupee. So he is very much excited when he says this. So how happy he is, you see that. From the heap of waste, sometimes he gets 1 rupee or 10 rupees. When you can find a silver coin in a heap of garbage, you don't stop scratching. And you see that when he gets a silver coin, you see that we cannot. He says that he cannot stop searching. The children, you see that when they get 1 coin from the garbage, they don't stop searching because they expect that they may get more coins from that area or from the waste. For there is a hope of finding more. It seems that for children, garbage has a meaning different from what it means to their parents. It's an important part. Usually question asked from this. And usually you see that the garbage, the meaning is different for the children to the parents. Why? For the children it is wrapped in wonder. Because for the parents it's a place for their survival. A place for the garbage means that is the place for their survival. But for the children you see that it's more than something. Because always this place is wrapped, covered in wonder. We can't expect what they are going to get from this. Sometimes they get toys, sometimes they get the coins, different articles like this. So that they can play also. And for the elders it's a means of survival. For the elders it's a means of survival, but for the children you see that it's a place wrapped in wonder. One winter morning, I see Sahib standing by the fence gate of the neighborhood club watching 2 young men dressed in white playing tennis. So one day morning, the narrator saw Sahib standing nearby the gate, which is you see enclosed by a fence. What he was doing, he was watching 2 young men playing tennis, in white playing tennis. I like the game, he hums. So he murmurs, he spoke very slowly. I like tennis. Content to watch it standing behind the fence. See, the poor boy, he is content, means satisfied. He is satisfied to watch these people playing tennis. He is standing outside and watching. He is at least, he is very much happy and satisfied to watch it. I go inside when no one is around. He admits the gatekeeper lets me use the swing. And when nobody is there, I go, yes, inside. Okay, and I use the swing. And he plays there, he enjoys. And the gatekeeper, he is a benevolent person, a kind person. He admits him, he allows him to enter when nobody was there. Sahib too is wearing tennis shoes that look straight over his discolored shirt and shorts. He was wearing discolored, dirty, discolored shirt and shorts. But at the same time, that day, the narrator saw that he was wearing a shoe. He was wearing shoes. Someone gave them to me, he says in the manner of an explanation. So when the narrator looked at the shoes, in a way of explanation, he said, someone gave to me. Somebody gave this to me. The fact that they are discarded shoes of some rich boy who perhaps refused to wear them because of a fall in one of them does not bother him. Actually, he is lying. It is not given to him by anyone else, anybody. So actually, these are the discarded shoes by some rich boys because there was a hole on the shoe. For one who has walked barefoot, even shoes without a hole is a dream come true. That's the case that the boy is walking always barefoot. If he gets a shoe, even if there is a hole, it doesn't matter to him. Here his dream has come, yes, true. But the game he is watching, here he is a dream to get a shoe that is satisfied. But you see the game that he is watching so internally means very carefully, is out of his reach. That is very difficult to him to get. That means the tennis is very difficult to, because it's such a costly player. Okay, it's very difficult for him to get the chance to play tennis. At least he has got a shoe. This morning, Sahil is on his way to the milk booth. This morning she saw that he was going to the milk booth to fetch milk. In his hand is a steel canister. Canister means container. He was holding or carrying a steel container in his hand. I now work in a tea stall down the road, he says, pointing in the distance. So pointing to a distance, he said, now I am working in a tea stall there. I am paid 800 rupees and all my meals. So you see, I am getting 800 rupees. I am paid 800 rupees. And not only that, I am getting all times meals also. So he is getting food as well as 800 rupees as salary. He is a salaried person now. Does he like the job? I asked. Then the narrator asked him, do you like this job? His face, I see, has lost the carefree look. And now his face had lost that carefree look. That means the free of concern worries. Before he was free of concern and worries. But his face now has got that worries and concern, anxiety. The steel canister, why? Because it's an also important. Last year also a question asked from this part. The steel canister seems heavier than the plastic bag he would carry so lightly. The steel canister, the container, it looked or seemed heavier than the plastic bag that he was carrying on his shoulder always. The bag was his. That was the reason. The bag, that was his. He was the owner of his bag. The canister belongs to the man who owns the tea shop. But this container, the canister that he is holding in his hand, that its owner is not Sahib. It belongs to the tea stall owner. Sahib is no longer his own master. Before he was the master himself. He does not want to answer to anyone. And at any time he can go out and work. But now he has got a master. So he cannot lead a carefree life now. Before he was leading a very a life without worries and anxieties. So Sahib has got that anxiety and worries on his face because he has no longer his master. Dear students, I hope you understood this part. We will go through the next part of the story. The second one, I want to drive a car in the next class. I hope you understood this part. If you understood it, like to my class, please like and subscribe it. Thank you. Thank you very much.